So y'all end up being like men, but y'all aren't men. Y'all seek the oxytocin. Y'all want the love. Y'all want the bonding. Y'all want a man to stay with you and be with you. But you become a man, and this is where all this masculine behavior comes from, with all the giving and all this other stuff, because you don't know who you are as an individual anymore. You don't know how to receive. Let a man try to give you something. You're going to be like, no, I'm good. Let a man try to help you. I don't need no help. Because you're so used to giving, because giving makes you feel safe. Why? Because you gave to your mother. Your whole relationship with your mom was one-sided.
All right, what's going on, y'all? This is MrLetGo, and this is another episode. I am here to show you guys something that we talked about in my coaching group class last night, and it was so deep. I cut it up because I'm never going to show anybody's face or anybody's name in my coaching group, but I cut it up a little bit because I'm like, yo, I want to like expound on this some more. So this, what I just showed is like fresh off of what we did last night, but I never disclose anybody's name, what anybody says or anybody thinks, whatever, like that's in my coaching group. But what I said, I pulled out. So as you guys come in, say what's up and make sure all right. So that's good. And what we're going to talk about today is specifically proof that giving from a woman, you know, women love to be givers. Women love to, you know, say all this stuff about giving. I give my all in relationships, all this stuff, right? Giving is actually masculine behavior. Giving is actually masculine behavior. And we're going to talk about this. So hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I got hella notes and we about to get started, but we ain't going to get started until y'all hit the damn like button. So the first thing is this. Somebody in the chat is like, how in the world is giving masculine behavior? Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I am going to answer that for you. And just for the record, if anybody wanted to come up and discuss this with me or ask questions or whatever, I want to put this in the chat for a second. Because some of you ladies might have a question and, you know what I'm saying? So the link is in the chat. If y'all want to come up, we can do that. So because I want you guys to, I want to be available to you guys to, like, for me to answer your specific question, because a lot of you ladies love giving. And for me to tell you the bad news that the reason why don't no man want you is literally because you're so much of a giver, that's going to go against everything that you were taught. And that is what this is for, to help you get out of your old belief system. Some of these dudes don't even understand. They're in the chat like, what in the world? Right. We men, exactly, Travallo, men are the givers. Men are the providers. But too many of you women spend so much energy giving to a man, and we end up either taking, you know, being this taker, and you're like, oh, he's a narcissist. All he did was take. We didn't take. We received. But receiving is feminine. So me personally, I don't receive, I give, okay? So just real quick, I just want to give you an easy understanding of what a receiver is as a woman and what a giver is as a man, and how too many of us have everything totally backwards. And if y'all don't hit the freaking like button, hit the like button, y'all. Y'all not hitting the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Okay. So it's really simple. This is a giver. See this? This is, you see the little penis little thing? You see it? See it? This is the giver. This is the receiver. Do y'all see this? Trying to give y'all different angles so y'all can see it. This is the receiver. Okay? This is the giver. So for you ladies running around talking about, I give my all, I'm such a giver, you're showing up in relationships as the masculine figure. What's up, Maria? You're showing up around men being a man. And then when you start giving to a man, you know what happens? He ends up being this. So every time you do for him, give to him, he ends up being the female plug, and you end up being the male plug, okay? And that's exactly what these two are called. If you go into a store and you need they're gonna ask you what you need, like is Walmart or Home Depot. Yeah, I need two fittings, okay? What type of fittings? I need a female fitting and I need a male fitting. That's literally what they're called, a female fitting and a male fitting. So ladies, for all of y'all running around talking about y'all are givers, you're literally a male fitting trying to fit into a female fitting, and you wonder why your relationships keep falling apart. Because biologically, your job as a woman is to do this. And this is just simply sitting there, okay? The male is the one who runs around, jumps around, does all this other stuff, okay? But too many of you women are performative. You want to wash dudes' clothes. You want to do all this stuff. You want to cook a man's food, which is okay. But you want to be so performative where you can't sit your ass down nowhere. And you run around doing all this other stuff like this. And the man is just sitting on the couch like this. So you going all like this. And the man is like this. That don't make no sense, right? And then you give it to him, and then boom, you now are the man, and he now is the woman. And there's another example of this, which is the male energy, and this, which is the female energy. Y'all know what this is? The egg and the sperm. Okay? So the masculine behavior is the sperm fighting to get to the egg, trying to get into the egg, fighting to get into the egg. Too many of you women are acting like the sperm, and too many of you men are acting like the egg. You sitting there and the woman is like, oh, I want to get through to you. Why won't you talk to me? And you sitting there like the freaking egg, and the woman is like the sperm trying to get inside, trying to get in. Let me in. I don't understand. Why won't you talk to me? Sit down. And you wonder why your relationships keep falling apart. Because biologically, from an energy standpoint also, they're not meant to stay together because of how you were raised. A lot of you ladies were raised to be men. So we're going to get into this. Y'all ain't hit the like button yet, so I need more likes. So I want to show y'all some stuff that we talked about last night. And again, anybody who is in my coaching group or anybody who wants to be in my coaching group, their faces or their names will never be shown on any video. I just simply took some parts of what I said, and I actually cut it up. So I just want anybody to know, if you in my coaching group, your autonomy and not autonomy. What is it? Who you are will never be divulged in my coaching group. So hold on real quick. Let me just do this. And y'all hit the like button while I do this. Hold on. Oh, actually, let me just play the video while I do this. Hit the like button, y'all.
and you alone all over again. And now you're going to be back in square one. Right. And now, just like Dana said, you're now this dopamine driven person because you're so used to the likes, the this or the short term things like a man, because we love the dopamine, the short term stuff. Most of us don't want to be with y'all. We just want to just sleep with all kinds of women. So y'all end up. And I'm going farther in the video. I'm going to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, let me just do this. I'm gonna fast forward because I don't want. You gave to her. She didn't give you shit. You now have the ability to. All right, here we go. But you become a man, and this is where all this masculine behavior comes from, with all the giving and all this other stuff, because you don't know who you are as an individual anymore. You don't know how to receive. Let a man try to give you something. You're gonna be like, no, I'm good. Let a man try to help you. I don't need no help. Because you're so used to giving, because giving makes you feel safe. Why? Because you gave to your mother. Your whole relationship with your mom was one-sided. You gave to her. She didn't give you shit. So now you grown, you are used to that behavior, and now somebody tries to give you something, you don't know what the hell to do with it because you never felt it. Does your mother owe you something that you now have the ability to get from your environment because you have all these cool body parts? Is your sex a new bargaining chip that will finally give you what your mother failed to give you? And you didn't have a bargaining chip when you were a child because you tried to cry, your mother didn't give a damn. You tried to act up in school, your mother gave you a whooping. None of the things that you did worked, but then you start growing titties and stuff. And now you're like, wow, I got bargaining chips. Oh, you want some of this? Oh, you want some of this? You got to give me affection. You got to give me, what else did my mom not give me? You got to give me love. What else? Oh, this, that. And then it's almost like, and the dude is going to be like, okay. And boom, you're able to get everything that your mom didn't give you as a child from a man. So real quick, somebody just asked, how do you get more information on my coaching group? I just pinned it in the chat. So can someone contact you about the coaching group? Yeah, Ray, it's hidden in the chat. So all you got to do is click the link. So hold on one second. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, MrLetGo?
I'm good. So what are your thoughts on the feminine and masculine behavior that we see out here?
Man, I've been watching content for a while, man. You got some good stuff, and today you got a perfect analogy with that sperm and that egg, and then the women being active and men being inactive. It's just on point, right on target. I'm a big been reading Genesis here for a while.
Okay.
Genesis. It talks about one of the reasons what happened was because women don't want to submit to a man, so they'll work against themselves.
Okay. Hold on, why?
I'm going to get to that. They'll do that to work against themselves, so they won't have to submit. And so they stay busy, so they feel like they're in control.
Whoa! You dropping some? I like what you're saying. So one thing I talk about in my coaching group all the time is how women tend to have this need to stay busy.
Correct.
And the reason why they have this need to stay busy, because I feel what you're saying, is because they're running from their trauma, right? You know how women overthink? The what's actually causing them to overthink is their trauma. Is their mother talking in the back of their head because their mom told them they wasn't this, they're not worthy, they're stupid, or they're never going to get this, because a lot of times, even not the bad moms, sometimes moms make you feel bad out of something fear-based. Like as an example, I was telling the woman that I was dating that I'm about to start selling cars. And out of her fear, she literally was like, that's stupid. Ain't nobody buying no cars. How the hell you know what somebody's doing, right? But this is what women do. They have this fear-based ideology. So everything that a young woman wants to do, you know, her mom, she's going to shit on it and tell her that ain't gonna work because it didn't work for me. So they actually hold on. So they cause you a young woman to have all these fear-based ideologies going through her head. And in order to escape this fear-based thought process of you're never going to do it, you're not enough, everything is going to fail, she stays busy. So now she's busy to run away from her own trauma ideology. So go ahead.
It's even, what you touched on, very great, but it's even deeper than that. It goes back to the beginning of time in the creation story. Okay. When Eve disobeyed the Lord in the Eden garden. Okay. And then she was tricked by the serpent. And then the punishment was for her disobedience was that she would have to be submissive to her husband, and he would rule over her. And ever since then, even in the garden, Eve didn't like that. So it's not just a mother; it's how it's instinctively in women since the beginning of time. Wait.
I totally disagree with that.
Go ahead.
The curse was not that she has to obey the man. That was not a curse. Because at the end of the day,
I said punishment. I should have said punishment. Punishment.
That was not a punishment. That is how. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. What God gave us. God gave us a skeletal system, which is a system. God gave us a respiratory system, which is a system. God gave us a reproductive system, which is a system. And I think 12 or 9 other systems. So in other words, everything that God gave us operated as a system. So when you create a man and then you create a woman from his rib, well, that is a system also. And part of the system is the man listens to God, which was going on in Genesis, and the man instructs the woman what God told him. So go ahead.
So let me read it to you where I got this from. Okay. So
first of all, is that wrong, or am I just saying wrong, or just what?
We're gonna discuss it this way.
Okay. I want to go too deep in it now because I
got you.
Okay, don't go too deep because I'm not really in all this stuff. But go ahead.
Okay. So until the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply the sorrow and conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to the husband, and he shall rule over thee. So even in the garden,
was that punishment though, or was that just setting the rules?
Well, that's because that's a result of sin. That was a result of sin. So the result of sin because they ate from the tree.
Okay, so what you're saying is, since she submitted to the devil to a certain degree, the world is going to be different. And due to the world being dangerous, due to what she did, because at first the world wasn't going to be dangerous because she didn't submit to the devil. So they was just going to skip around, be naked, and just be happy and just dance around with animals and stuff. But since she submitted to the devil, she brought the devil into the whole dynamic of the world. So now the world has the right to be dangerous. And let me know if I'm wrong. And because the world is now dangerous, in order for her to stay protected, she has to submit to him. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but you're not completely correct. Okay. You're not totally wrong, but you're not completely correct. Okay. I don't want to go too deep, like you said, but I will go back a few verses and then break this down to why your introduction was correct. But I think we're kind of missing each other now. Okay. Going back into the beginning, when God created Adam first, he did not create Adam, so Adam had a purpose. He had created Adam. He had a purpose. Adam was created. He saw that Adam needed a helpmate. He did not create Eve.
Everybody needed a helpmate, though. Every animal had a female animal. So I want
hear me out. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
I just want to say this. I want y'all to stop having this thought process that Adam was just like, I ain't got nothing to do. And God was like, what does he need? Every animal, in order to reproduce, needs a female animal of it. So we're mammals. So we need a female person. So we got to stop having this thought process of God is just sitting like, damn, why is he looking like that? No, in order for us to produce, he has a penis. Adam had a penis. In order for him to be able to reproduce and make more Adams and make more Eves, she was something that was going to happen regardless. So I just wanted to say that we got to stop making it look like Adam was just bored as hell and he needed somebody to play with.
I'm giving you the background. I'm giving you the background of Genesis. Because we totally agree.
Right.
So I'm just giving the background so I can explain to why it's saying it's a punishment now.
Unless Adam was going to be asexual, Eve was guaranteed to show up.
I'm just setting the background.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm just setting the background of the text. Okay. So to show why your illustration is so on point.
Okay.
So so now God's just around. God sees that Adam needs a helpmate. Eve is not created until to show not that God didn't already know what's going on, but for our sake of reading the text, we can see what's happening. He created Eve. Her purpose was to be a helpmate to her husband.
Yes.
Adam's job was to take care of the garden. Mm-hmm. Eve's job was to be his helpmate.
So that's what I'm saying. So before she bit the apple, she was there to be his helpmate. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead. Let
me finish. But I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay. I'm just trying to pick the complete story for everybody who's listening.
Right.
I get it. You can understand, but it may be some listeners don't understand.
Right.
So now go forward. Eve and Adam both messed up in chapter 3.
Okay.
Eve was tempted by the serpent. Adam was sitting right next to her when she was tempted. He didn't speak up while she was being tempted. She bit into the fruit, whatever it was.
Wait. Who did God tell to not eat the apple? It was Adam.
Correct.
Eve didn't even know what the hell was going on. But so the problem that Adam had, which is the same thing the black man had a problem with, he gets instructions from God, and the black man either does not know how to articulate what needs to be said, or he fails to tell his woman what to say, because we don't know how to teach.
Correct.
There we go. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Right. That's correct.
He failed to warn Eve about what God told Adam.
And as a result of that, she did what she was supposed to do. Now, result of it is, because of sin, Adam has to work with his hand. Eve has to submit to his will.
Because she's going to run around doing stupid shit.
Correct. So now it goes back to what you're talking about.
It's not punishment. It's just like, all right, I don't make
this. The text says punishment. The text says punishment. I can't help with you. No, MrLetGo, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your platform.
I get you. Where did it say punishment? You didn't say punishment.
Huh?
What you read, it didn't say punishment. Where's say punishment at?
Okay, I gotta read it again.
I want to hear the word punishment. I ain't hear that.
Okay, and I didn't say it's punishment, but I'll read it to you again. It says, until the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply the sorrow, and the conception and the sorrow shall bring forth children, and our desire shall be to the husband, and he shall rule over thee. So I said the word correct. Correct. Don't say the word punishment, but it shows the choice. Then it shows the consequence for your choice.
Yes, because
so the ideal of punishment is found in that text.
There's not punishment though. I did not hear punishment in context. I didn't hear punishment. I heard that if you guys want to do it your way, you're going to have to follow and submit to a man, because we can't have this little female human run around doing stupid shit. Because you already bit the apple. So from now on, this man, you got to do whatever he damn tells you to do, because we don't need you to run around doing more stupid shit. So even when God created man, when he created woman, she started running around doing stupid shit. And that is the reason why biologically men are supposed to protect women from themselves. So go ahead.
Okay, so the ideal though, it is what the text is teaching in concept is that it is teaching because she disobeyed, because Adam disobeyed, they both were being punished.
We got to get past that because I didn't hear punish. I did not hear punish. The context was not even punishment, but we can move on.
Okay, we'll move on. Okay, so now,
hold on. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all heard punishment from that scripture. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all did not hear punishment. I ain't hear punishment, but go ahead.
Okay, but move on to why your point, why example was perfect though, is because what was supposed to was the reason where you say punishment, not punishment. The reason what's supposed to happen is Adam was supposed to go out and work, and Eve was supposed to submit to him. What's happening now is women are fighting to work. Women are fighting to be equal with men. We are fighting for who's gonna make the most money, who's gonna rule the house, who's gonna rule the family. And so what's happening is women, like you said earlier, women are trying to act like the men, and men are trying to act like the woman. We're reversing the roles of what God created us for.
Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm glad you said that specific. What you just said specific, because I disagree with you. I agree with you, but there's a side of this because I know where you're about to go. This has nothing to do with women wanting to work, and this has nothing to do with the Bible. Hold on 1 second. I'm looking for the file. Give me a second. Right here. You said reverse roles, right? You said that, right? Yeah. All right, so listen to this. Correct. Hold on, listen to this.
Process of the African woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature by her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed.
Y'all hear that, right? Reversed nature. God didn't do this. I'm not saying you said that, but the slavery ideology trained us to be like this.
The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen, independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
So I just want to clarify why black women, not all women, the only people we have problems with on the entire planet with this reverse role stuff is black women. And that is exactly why, because of Willie Lynch, just ideology is literally in everything that we see, whether it's TV, whether it's rap music, whether it's everything. So the ideology is trained and is embedded in us through media, because white America the biggest company. Biggest something in the world is called BlackRock. You can look it up. BlackRock owns, I think, all 12 media companies, and the media there's a video that I did a while ago about how there's a video where every media company was saying this same exact thing. So they had I think about 20 different videos playing simultaneously of newscastings all over the world, American, of course, and they all were saying the exact same thing. I could find that and make that another show, but BlackRock owns the media, all media almost, and now the Willie Lynch ideology is being embedded into our media. And that's how all of us operate the same way. And of course, it controls our black churches also. But I just wanted to show you specifically where and why this reverse role situation is happening in black women. not other women. But go ahead.
So the Willing Lynch letter, I've read that. I've heard this article a lot.
Yeah,
It's been around. It's been around since the what?
The
16,
30s.
17. I'm sorry.
1630s.
Okay. Okay. So, but that concept of reverse roles was not found. I mean, was not created. I mean, that idea, that concept was not created by the Willie Lynch letter. It's even older than the Willie Lynch letter. So
it's a concept. Okay, so who created it? It's a concept and it's not natural, right?
It's the concept. It's a concept created by. So I'm not trying to make your program a spiritual program, but my background is spiritual.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to change your platform or anything.
No,
but the concept of this reverse roles is not the Willie Lynch letter. It's bigger. It's go further back. It goes back.
No,
it goes back.
That is the way they teach see, sometimes something is the way it is, right? But in order to make sure that everybody operates under the same type of ideology, you got to put it in a book or you got to train people. You feel me? So I agree with you. It didn't start from there, but that was like the training manual. So I'm agreeing with you on that.
So, and it basically, what I just read to you in Genesis is breaking down what Willie Lynch actually learned from watching the beginning of, because basically what it is, all evil is progressed from the creation of time. So, for example, when the serpent tempted Eve, that same serpent evolved as time is evolved. To what we now think, we associate it to the Willie Lynch letter, we associate it to feminism, we associate it to whatever it is and whatever things that separates us in time. It's all evolved. It's all been evolved since the beginning of time.
But let me say this. This is just my opinion. Oh, everybody make sure to hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. We need 50 more likes and drop a super chat or a cash app if y'all enjoying this conversation, because we're going way deeper. So I'm loving this. I didn't even know we was gonna go this deep, but I'm loving this. But go ahead. But my whole thing is this. We gotta look at, it's not this devil anymore. I don't believe in the devil. Okay, just personally, I don't believe in it. See, I don't believe since it's God, it has to be a devil. I think all that shit is stupid to me. So I don't believe in no damn devil. But it's an ideology. So the ideology is still trained. The evil is still trained. So it's an ideology. It's a concept. So evil or the devil is not a devil. Is a concept, in my opinion. But go ahead. So
I'm gonna just touch on what you just said. Every story has a protagonist and antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the biblical narrative is no different.
Do you know why?
Go ahead.
Because that's how the human brain operates. We delineate through contrast. Like if there's a picture on the wall, the only way you recognize that on the wall there's a picture is due to the contrast between the wall and the picture, right? So there's a contrast between up and down, left and right, good and bad. So in order for God to give us an understanding of life through how he made our brains, which is through contrast, it has to be a story that has contrast also, which is good, evil, this person versus that person. You know what I'm saying? Because as an example, I look at nature shows all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And is the lion evil for eating the calf of a mom? No, the lion sees the calf as easier prey than the mom, because the mom has horns and the mom can run fast. So is the lion evil? No. Is it a good thing when the lion isn't fast enough to get to this fast elk, and an elk gets away, and next thing you know, the lion or gets stabbed by the elk in a thigh or whatever because it's trying to fight. And next thing you know, the lion is limping, and now the lion dies because it can't hunt. There's no evil. There's no evil and there's no good. That's just nature. But we have to make things storylined in order for us to have concepts and create new ideas. See, animals don't make new ideas. Animals don't create concepts because they don't have a prefrontal cortex. Animals don't have prefrontal cortexes. But since we have prefrontal cortexes, we have to put things in story concurrent form. You know what I'm saying? So because of who we are as humans, we have to have a good and bad, evil or whatever. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really exist. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is why I disagree with you. Because, okay, who created human beings?
God.
God. And even God teaches us that we're created in his image, not so much in the physical, but in the spiritual. So now if God recognizes that there is good and evil.
Well, we're the only one with prefrontal cortexes. We were created physically in his image. He just doesn't, we just never seen him. Because we only have prefrontal cortex, and we were created in his image, and we're the only beings on the planet that have prefrontal cortexes that can reason, create, worry, all that other stuff. We were created in his image physically also, so because of prefrontal cortex.
Which is what I'm getting back to is, if we're created in his image, which means we're created in his likeness, we think like him, we move like him. Doesn't it go to show that what we think comes from him?
Yes.
So if we see the theory that between good and evil, how do we recognize good and evil unless the creator didn't show us that was good and evil?
We don't need to know the difference between good and evil, to be honest with you, because like I said, our amygdala stores bad situations and good situations. So it's something that makes us feel good, and it's something that makes us feel bad. It's not good and evil. It's a feeling, and that is cortisol. Okay. So everything biologically is just good and evil. So if you, like, for example, right, me and you walking down the street, you were raised around pit bulls and Rottweilers and vicious dogs, right? And you had one, right? But I wasn't, and I was scared of them damn dogs. If me and you were walking down the street and we seen a Rottweiler run at us, we're going to have two totally different perspectives on that Rottweiler. Because of that, you see good and I see evil. So in other words, there is no good and evil because it's just a damn dog. We see good out of stuff and see evil out of stuff because of our amygdala, which is our stored either behaviors or experiences. And then we literally take our past experiences, past trauma, and associate the past and match it with what's in front of us. So if my past experiences with a Rottweiler was bad and your past experiences with a Rottweiler was good, you're going to see good. I'm going to see evil. So there is no good. There is no evil. There is just our perspective due to our past experiences.
Okay, so I don't want to keep going on this rabbit hole and divert what you really was talking about, because I think what you really talked about was great. And I enjoyed this debate, but I want to get back to the subject we was talking about.
Okay.
And I totally agree how you said what you totally introduced with the subject of why men act like women and why women act like men.
Right.
And I can see spiritually how that connects with your introduction. Because what's happening now is you do have women who are way more masculine, doing way more masculine roles. And how we get here, I know we disagree how we got here, was I can see through scripture, through text, is that I can see your point, because women now are moving in their masculine energy, and men are letting women do for them when it should have been the other way around. Right. Men was created to do for women, and because women don't want, and I know you disagree with this, but this is my point I was making though. But women don't want to feel like they have to submit to a man.
Nobody cares what they want, though. That's the thing that people don't. Nobody gives a damn about what women want. This is a man's world, and when you're just like we're black men, right? So men, women, and then you got black people, white people. We're in the white people's world, so nobody gives a shit about what we black men want either, because we either gonna operate in congruency with the world, or we can turn around and screw our own lives up because the world is bigger than us and we can get stepped on by the world. So when it comes to women liking or wanting, nobody gives a shit about what women want because they don't control shit. That's all I'm saying.
But the reason why you talking about this subject right now, the reason why you brought this subject up today, because you looked around and you saw what was going on, and you saw it, and it made you do a show about it. So although we as men shouldn't care, you do care because you're talking about the
we
issue.
shouldn't care. It's not about whether we should care or not. It's important for women to know that nobody cares about what they want. You're either going to operate in within the system, or you're going to be pushed out of the system. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm doing this show is to help women get out of their own way. Because you care. Because you care. Yeah, I do care. But I care about their children.
Correct.
More than them. And they, just like I'm about to talk about now, are traumatizing their children and prolonging the trauma, and you're handing down the trauma to your children. So I care about women, but some of these women, they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway or whatever. But if I can get to one woman that actually starts raising her child differently, that child will be saved. These women ain't gonna be saved. They stuck in their own ways. Some of them maybe, but overall, they just gonna do what they're gonna do, and they just gonna get, like I said, pushed out of the system because they're not operating within the system with all this masculine shit. But I'm here to save their children, because hopefully something I say will change the way they raise their children. Because just like the Willie Lynch thing. Hold on real quick. Let me go back to this. This is a specific part right here.
Independence. She will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
That part. She will raise her male and female offspring. See, that is the key to all of us. How somebody's going to raise their children. Children. But go ahead.
Mr. You really are a problem solver, and I get it. Because you look like you might be the same age, which is relevant though. What I can tell though is that you can look at a situation, you can see there's a problem, then you can look for a solution. Well, that's the essence of a man, being a problem solver.
Yes.
So you figured out, okay, we have a problem in our society, and it's not important for me and you, but for the kids that we have come after us.
Yes.
So you said, well, most of us are too old, and we're not going to change anyway.
Yeah.
But if I can get you to touch your kids
and see your faults, and then say, I'm going to not teach my kids the shit that my mom or dad taught me.
There you go.
To save the kids.
Correct. And that's why I say the essence of a man is a problem solver. But what happens is in today's time, we got too many weak boys who are raised by moms who was in women, raised by women with these, I call it weak masculine energy.
Well, they don't have it. You got to understand. They don't have masculine energy because they were raised by women. Because the reason why I say women and not just moms is because the almost 95, or I would say about 80 to 90% of all of our families were women. So you're not just raised by the one person. You're raised by mom, auntie, female cousin, her you know what I'm saying? And all of them ain't got no man. So you're raised by a group of women. So it's like I go out, it's like I have a baby and I take the baby out and it gets raised by wolves. It's not being raised by one wolf. It's being raised by a community of wolves. Therefore, that child starts acting like a wolf. So when you have a child being raised by a woman, that woman alone is not going to make that boy feminine. It's when he sees confirmation of what his mom said through other people. So when you see auntie agreeing with mom, when you see the cousin female agreeing with mom, your sister agreeing with mom, your grandmama agreeing with mom, and there's no men around to say, nah, that's some bullshit. You now have enough confirmation of what your mom said to think is true.
Do you understand what I mean when I say weak masculine energy?
You can explain. And everybody
Okay.
hit the damn like button, y'all. Go ahead.
When I said the word weak masculine energy in reference to a woman is because what happens over time is if in generations where there are not enough men in the families, women begin to take on the characteristics of men. So for you ever had a conversation with a woman who's never been raised with a man, if she gets into a fearful situation, she would try to bark like a man does. She would try to show. Let me finish.
She's gonna try to what?
Let me finish. She's going to try to puff her chest up and get at you like she's a man. But then watch this when you talk with you. But then watch when you are a real masculine man and you naturally roar and naturally bulk back up. Her masculinity, her weak fake masculinity recognizes a real masculine man, and she falls back and begins to cry. It begins to cry out, "Oh, he tried to beat me, or he tried to do this." Because a real man would, if I challenged you, you wouldn't back down. You would come back at me. You would give me a louder and louder, and I would get louder at you. And then if it came to it, we would throw blows.
I disagree with you. So let me look at the dynamic from my point of view.
Okay.
One, the woman's fake masculinity is bravado, but it's fear-based.
It is.
Women feel the need because you gotta understand, women gain weight for this same reason. Women, to a certain degree, have been taken advantage of sexually since they were like 12 or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Some handed around, between family members, sometimes male family members, and none of the women protected them, right? So they feel unprotected by the women, and then they feel sexualized by the men. So they go out into the world and they have no idea on how to protect themselves because they're 120 pounds in high school. The typical female human is 120 pounds when they graduate from high school, period. 120 pounds, 130 pounds. The typical female human is around 120 and 130 pounds when they graduate from high school. What ends up happening after that is they go out into the world and they are now confused because they grow up being around all these women. So they grow up under a matriarchy. Then they go out in the world and they see the world is a patriarchy. So it's even more men, because remember, the men sexualized them, made them, I want to say them, I want to say the word, when they were little. And now they go out in the world and it's nothing but men. Cops are men. The grocery store, people selling your food is men. Men. So in that mind, they're like, yo, this is crazy. So the world is actually full of men. Men run the world and not women. Growing up from age 5 to 20, she actually thought the world was ran by women because your world is what you see every day. And most Black families are full of women. And in most Black families, the women are the matriarchs and there is no patriarch. So when you go out in the world, it's totally opposite. So the woman starts feeling the need to gain weight, become more masculine in order to protect herself from all of these evil men. Because from everything that she's been taught from her mom, men ain't shit. Men are going to do this to you. And they confirmed that because Uncle Jimmy did A, B, and C to her. So it was a confirmation of that. So she thinks all men are trash. All men aren't to be, followed or listened to or trusted. So she actually starts gaining weight so she can be in a position to protect herself from a man.
So you agree with everything I just said, right? Everything you just said proves that we agree. I'm not here to disagree with you. Earlier earlier during your dialogue, you said I disagree with you, but then you want to, but then
You
you
share my perspective to you to
correct.
your perspective.
Okay, correct. And so and it worked out. And it worked out. We both agreed because
Of course,
what I
yeah,
was speaking to, what you spoke to, and what I'm speaking to, and I think, and which proves we do agree on, is that we're talking about when I said weak masculine. What I was referring it's a better. It was just my way of saying an unhealthy woman who doesn't
Emotionally,
recognize who's operating outside of her feminine energy.
because she wasn't taught to be feminine. She
Yeah,
was
you're
taught to be
correct.
masculine.
Correct. And the same
I.e.,
way, and the same thing can be said for a young boy who was raised around a bunch of women. He's operating in a weak feminine state
hold on, let me say it.
because
I don't want
say
to
it
interrupt
again.
you, but I just want to agree with you on this.
Dependent state to a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles. The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm what you were saying. I agree.
Yeah, and that's what we have operated today, and which why you brought out your illustration was so on point because you have women moving around. Women, like you said, they have the egg. Can't see my hand. There you go. They have the egg, but they're acting like the sperm. They're moving around. They're moving around. They're moving around. But they should be just sitting still.
Yep.
And then there's the sperm, which should be moving. The sperm is inactive.
Yep.
Perfect illustration. What's happening is you just shot a spotlight on what actually happened today. And that's why I said when I really look at I brought the Genesis text because the Genesis text explains exactly what you were saying today too as well. I know we disagree on some of the points which we talked about, but the concept idea is still there. And we look at today's society, man, everything is most definitely women are working against their own nature and don't even know it.
They're working against their own nature. Yep.
Don't even know it. And then some of us men are doing the same thing. We're allowing women to rule the world, and we wonder why it's such a bad shit.
They rule our households. They rule our personal world. They don't rule the world. They rule our personal world as Black people.
You're right as of what it looks like now. What I'm saying to you is, if we do not stop what's happening, they will eventually rule the world.
Then they will never rule the world, bro.
Well, listen what I'm finna say. And I know what you're trying. I know what you're getting to. What I'm trying to say is like, if something, the human body, right, in its healthiest state, it works and moves perfectly. If you exercise, you eat right, you stay fit, you stay young, you stay active. As you get older, you may lose some things, but if everything goes right, you live a healthy life. Now, introduce cancer into that body. If cancer cells goes unnoticed and untreated, it will eventually take over that body.
Keyword untreated, because we already have we have cancer cells in our bodies also already, but the problem is due to what we're talking about now, when we're under constant stress, our cortisol is released, and cortisol actually hurts us and traumatizes us, and because of our cortisol being released, it causes our bodies to think, or because our body is your skin is a brain. So when I say your body to think is actually true, it causes your body to think that there's something out there that's about to hurt us. But no, it's just our car note is late, our rent is late, inflation is up, or our girlfriend or boyfriend done left us or whatever, right? So we feel upset. Therefore, our hormones start changing.
Correct.
Cortisol is flowing. Now our cells are now at our extremities because they're now ready for us to fight and be ready to run or something like that. And due to our blood cells going to our extremities to get us, see, the thing about it is when you punch somebody, you can injure your fist, right? So when you're fighting, your body is prepared to repair itself as you're fighting and not just be ready to fight. So it's not about strength. It's about the ability or the preparedness to repair itself after a fight of, trying to get away or whatever, right? And because of that, we're in this constant state of stress, which means our cells are not in our visceral area, is out in our extremities, and it gives cancerous cells the opportunity to start coagulating.
There
and they
you
get
go.
bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because our white blood cells are out in our extremities instead of in our visceral area,
And
which
so,
causes cancer. So stress
correct.
causes cancer. That's how
I
stress
totally
causes
agree. I
cancer.
totally agree. And you're making a point. You again making a point I was making. So when we get out of balance, our immune system becomes weaker. And so, if you don't get it back in balance, and let the cells fight the right enemy, then the cancer will take over the body and destroy the body. So what you're doing today by bringing this to light and bringing conversation, saying women get back in place because you're making the world out of balance. What you're doing is you're saying that you're out of balance, the male is out of balance, and if we stay in this, now I'm adding to your words now, if we stay in this current condition, this cancer will change the dynamic of the world.
Right.
So that's what I mean, that women could rule the world and leave us in a
women could destroy the world. They're never going to rule the world. Women, because cancer doesn't rule your body.
It destroys
it starts just destroying parts of your body.
Well, you're right. I used the wrong word.
Rule your body, because then cancer will make us zombies and shit and make us think differently. Cancer doesn't make us think or operate differently. It just makes us die. So
you're correct. I used the wrong word.
What women are doing is going to destroy the world, not rule the world.
Well, so what I was getting to, I was doing a play on words, but you're right. That's what I was getting to. It's when I say rule, because I do see that they think they're gaining power in their mind. They think they're becoming equal to men. In their mind, they think they're gaining and ruling the world. Because that's how they think that's what's going to end up at. But I agree with you.
No, they don't know where they're going to end up at. They don't have that forethought like men do. So they don't think that far. They don't care about
that. May be true.
Women think like children. All they want is a toy. All they want is some attention. All they want is somebody to do something for them. All they want is some food. Women don't have this forethought or just, generational thought process like men do. Like, all right, if I do this, this is going to happen. Then this is going to happen to my kid. They don't give a shit. Women think like children. All they care is about what's happening now and what's going to make me happy now. So and that's the reason why they ruin their kids' lives and their own lives, because they just want sex or whatever or appreciation now. They don't care about what happens next week. They just care about what happens now. That's why the typical woman's life is trash without a man, because she keeps living for now. She keeps doing stupid shit, but she doesn't know it's stupid shit because she has no understanding of how life is going to change later on. So
and that was me projecting my manhood onto my man to the situation. Because what I can do, I can foresee, because we're men, we can foresee what this is going to end up in.
Right.
And but she doesn't see it, but you and I as men can see it, that if we don't get this back in order, this is what's going to end up at. Now, she just wants power. She just wants to be equal to a man. But she sees what she wants. Like you said, she don't understand what's going to end up being. But we as men understand that if we don't get this back under control, if we don't start moving on our masculine and then help women understand what their feminine is, we got this cancer going to overthrow us as a society. Which is why what you're doing today is so important, because you're helping us to see that, look, this is not normal. This is unhealthy. And as long as you're unhealthy, you're going to keep raising unhealthy kids. And it's going to keep repeating itself.
Like, as an example, I want you to think about how much women want to be butt ass naked on Instagram. You know what? I can't be butt ass naked because Instagram, which is ran by men, is going to shut their account down. Women just want to be butt ass naked because they're children. They just want to do the stupidest shit, but they know they can't do the shit because a man, which is Instagram, ran by men, or man ran by a man or whatever, will shut their account down. If you just watch women, they're gonna do every single thing they can next to being naked for attention. And that shows you how women don't have the ability to think like long term. They just have this short-sightedness like children. But that's an example of how men have to literally, like Adam, have to pull women back and protect them from themselves. Because if women could, all women would be butt ass naked on Instagram. But a man is stopping them from doing it, which is, the rules and guidelines of Instagram.
So let me ask you a question. In your personal experience and your knowledge of life, what makes women work? What makes women want the worst thing for their lives?
Actually, hold on. Actually, I got it right here.
If the ultimate goal for a woman is to find security, protection, and this and that,
well, you got to understand
what makes them work against their own nature.
That's the thing. You have a nature, then you have a nurture.
Okay.
Nature. Going back to this. Listen to what it said right here.
Nature, by her being left alone, type of balance. We reversed nature. Nature had provided for this type of balance.
See, nature provided for this type of balance, right? And then he says, we reversed nature. So this is nature versus nurture. So now he's going to explain nurture.
We reversed nature. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen, independent state.
So with that being said, her nature is to be a submissive woman and follow her man, but nurturing by her masculine mom, her masculine auntie, her masculine cousins. They angry as hell. They ain't got no man. They don't trust men. They've been raised wrong by their parents. So you got a whole bunch of ignorant ass women raising a woman to be also ignorant. So there's not about what makes women want to go against their nature. They are raised to go against their nature. It's not a want. It's now their new instinct. Does that make sense?
It does make plenty of sense. So my next question to you is then, how did our women get to this place?
Right here.
In this frozen psychological state of independence to a frozen independent state.
Hold on, let me go a little farther.
In this, for fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. Because she has become psychologically independent.
So that is your answer. We have, like I said, a company called BlackRock runs all of media. Then Disney runs the majority of the shows that children look at. And what do most single mothers do? Stick Sesame Street and Disney and all this other shit in front of their child. So that's what I'm saying. Virtually everything that BlackRock owns is meant to keep black people screwed up. So and then we go to church, and then the church teaches us the same old stupid, idiotic shit that Disney is teaching us. You know what I'm saying? Give. What is the psychology of going to church? Give yourself to this. Women aren't supposed to give nothing. Women are supposed to receive. When was the last have you heard a church say receive? They can say receive the Lord, but they'll say give to me. And the majority of the people in church are women, old fat women. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that is actually a problem. So when you grow up seeing all these angry fat women in your family, and then you grow up and then you go to church, and there's a whole bunch of happy fat women in church jumping up and down, acting like fools. giving to a man, because the preacher is a man, and he hands around the collection plate, and the majority of the people in the chairs are women. Women are giving their money to a man. So they're psychologically teaching women to give to men in church.
So the next question is, what role did men play in this situation?
We have failed due to the fact that we are in direct competition with the federal government, which means back when we were, I would say back in the 70s, the last war we was in, they created projects, because I've never been in the military, but if anybody's been in the military, you know, if you could choose to buy a house. Oh, you been in the military? Okay.
Yes.
So you already know you can choose to buy a house on your own and live on like Fort Benning or whatever, or you can live in the projects of Fort Benning. So military establishments have houses and they have projects. And the projects are for military families, mainly wives, as their men go out to war. They have places to stay, and they look like government projects, because I've been on Fort Benning plenty of times. They look like the same government projects. That's what government projects were for. It was for military families. So when they started making government projects all over the city, because so many men were at war, what they actually started doing is saying, hey, we're going to make this free. But these government projects, unlike the projects that are on Fort Benning, these are for women who don't have men, for single mothers. And the majority of the white women was like, whether I'm a single mother now or not, I'm not going to live somewhere that has a rule that goes against my nature of following a man. And the rule is you can't have a man in the house. White women was like, I'm not doing that. So you saying live in these government projects, but I can't have a man? That's stupid. So the government projects that they built all over the country just sat there. And guess who came in and sopped all that syrup up? Black women. So they turned around and said, hey, you're telling me all I need is a baby and I can have almost free $35 a month free housing? They're like, yeah, but you can't have a man. They're like, oh, if these white women don't want it, we're going to take it. And what ends up happening, the women literally had an option. You can have your own place to live, or you can live under the government. But if you live under the government, which actually makes sense, you can't have a man, because why are you going to depend on the government if you have a man? So women started choosing in droves to not be with men and have the government take care of them instead of having men take care of them. So this was a choice. So when you say black men failed black women, yes, they have. But to a certain degree, it was a choice between being with a black man and being under the government. And it's just easier. You gotta remember, women are childlike, and children are always going to go to the easier, method of doing stuff. So they just like, okay, I ain't got to listen to no man. I ain't got to deal with no man's mess. I ain't got to follow a man. I ain't got to do what a man says. I can have my own place like a child. Oh, I go, they building a little fort. This is my place. And can't nobody tell me what to do, because the government don't tell them what to do. The government just tell them don't have a man. So it puts them in a position to be the head of household, and without them having to be the head of household, which is paying bills, because the government is the head of household. So sadly, black men have and are to this day in competition with the federal government when it comes to providing for women. The government provides for women better than the black man. The government protects women better than the black man, because who pays the military? Who pays police? The
Black
government.
men.
The government, though.
No, black men. I'm gonna bring it full circle for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so using your illustration, and I agree with everything you just said, because I've used those points myself over and over again, because I see the problem the same way you see it.
Yeah.
But I go one step further with it. Taking it back to a biblical narrative again in Genesis, the government is the serpent.
Yes. Whoa. Yes.
Adam is the man, and then Eve. And so Eve trusted the serpent more than the man.
Hold on, bro. Hold up. So the serpent is the government, and we're going against God. Well, Eve, which is the black woman, is going against God and is acting in unison with the serpent, which is the government, which is the devil,
to work against her own nature.
To work against her own nature. Keep going, bro. Golly. Keep going. Like,
that's my point. That's what I was trying to say. Is like when you look at what happened in Genesis and you compare it to now.
It's a damn government.
It's the same concept.
Handing Eve the apple is the government handing the black woman government assistance.
That's it. And we've been that serpent. The way I teach this is because I'm like you. I've kind of given up on the church too, because we don't really teach the truth. We don't really teach for truth.
The church is trash.
But what I do notice is that serpent, we think it just crawled away on its belly and went away. No, that serpent went away and evolved. It evolved into racism. It evolved into feminism. It evolved into drugs. It evolved into alcohol. It evolved into debauchery. That serpent evolved into the very thing that we destroy ourselves today. And
you know why feminism was invented?
Part of the serpent. Go ahead.
Feminism was invented by one of the Rothschilds. Mm-hmm. The reason why is because back then, all women stayed at home. Mm-hmm. All right. Rothschilds and the government are two different entities. They did not have control over the government. They just had enough money to make things happen, right? So the rules of the land was women don't work, women don't have rights, women don't vote, all this other stuff, right? So the Rothschild was like, hey, we are only able to tax half of the American system, which is men. If we got women, and this is twofold, if we got women out of their houses raising their own children, one, we can tax women and not just men, but two, we can actually bring schools into the part of this systematic oppression where we can make it law that every child in America has to go to school. But before we do that, we have to get the women wanting to do this. Because the key is, just like what we're talking about, because you said it yourself, the key is for the Willie Lynch teachings to be something that women want to do. Women want to do this right here.
Her deal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state.
Don't black women want to be independent? They want the independence. They want it, right? So what feminism did, it made women feel like, hey, don't you want to do this? They made women want to do it. It's not about forcing women to do stuff, they get women to want to actually go against their way of operating or whatever. So the Rothschild said, hey, let's start feminism, which is white women. They pushed the white women to actually start fighting for their own rights. So they started burning their bras. They started protesting or whatever, right? The main people who protest now are women.
That's Eve in the garden.
Because if you just think about protesting, the actual word protesting comes from children. Children protest. When a child starts crying, that is actually what protesting actually is. If you look up protest, is what children do. Children protest because they are hungry. Children protest because they are unhappy and then they cry. So the thought process of protesting actually is feminine. It's childlike. So women started protesting and burning their bras, and they gave the women the right to work and to vote and all this stuff. And on the other end, what men got, which was Rothschilds and white America, was now women are now getting taxed by the government, just like the men. And their children are now offered up to schools. So now the schools are now the law. Go ahead.
If you look at trying to remember the verse exactly, and I'm not trying to be survival study, but it talks about, I think it's in 1 Samuel, it talks about, I think it's 1 Samuel. It talks about Israel wanted a king, but God did not want Israel to have a king.
Okay.
He wanted to be their king. God wanted to be their king.
Mm-hmm.
But Israel said, no, give us a king so we can be like everybody else. And so God said to Israel, said to the prophet, well, if they want a king, give them a king. But tell them what that king is going to be. And I'm paraphrasing. He said that king is going to pay taxes. He's going to make you pay taxes. He's going to take your kids. Your daughter's going to be his maid servant. Your son's going to be fighting his wars.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically going to be in the king's court doing whatever the king wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And the people of Israel said, well, that's what he's going to do. Give us a king. And because they got exactly what they asked for. They got a king. Fast forward to today. The government we live on today represents the king,
which is a business,
which is a government, and they take out taxes. They take our sons in the war. They make our daughters they maid servants.
Mm-hmm.
They do our daughters do they bid work for the government. So we talk about protesting. Women are protesting to keep the government in business.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Black Lives Matter. You can look at it at any time. Whenever you see women protesting, it's meant to keep the government in business, because you got to understand the co-conspirators of the government are women.
Yep. And
virtually everything the government offers is something for women.
If we truly wanted true independence, and this is my personal belief, I'm not big on the church, but I am big on God. I am big on faith.
Yeah.
If we truly wanted independence, we would separate from the government and rely more on God, because God empowers you to have a choice in how you want to live your life. But
the
then when you choose
mm-hmm.
government, you're choosing slavery, you're choosing captivity, yes. You're choosing taxes.
Yes.
When you choose God, you're not paying taxes. You're
mm-hmm.
not choosing slavery. You're not choosing government. Ever since the beginning of time, man has chosen against their own nature.
Mm-hmm.
We've chosen government, and government gives you what government gives you.
Right.
Which is why you got to, Michelle Alexander wrote The New Jim Crow. Slavery went away, but it didn't go away completely, because if you commit a crime, you can be a slave again.
And that is legal slavery.
Legal slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the Constitution, it says a black man is 3/5 of a person. Mm-hmm. That was in the Constitution.
Yeah. And let me say this. This is another want. The government causes people to want to do stuff. Do you know how many men want to go to prison? Do you know why? Or do you know?
Explain it to me.
growing up, one of the things that I actually felt that was somewhat of a want, but I was scared to do it, which was go to juvenile or go to jail. Because when you get out of jail, everybody looks at you as you're a hero when you get out of jail. So once you get out of jail, you got a certain amount of street cred because you went to jail. So actually, as a young man, made me want to go to jail so I could experience jail. You ain't never been around a dude having all these jail stories, how they made how they made food with an iron, or how they put something on top of something and made food off of it. They ate noodles or whatever. It was just so dumb, but it was so intriguing. And growing up, a lot of the dudes around me went to juvenile and jail and stuff, and I didn't. And it actually made me envious of them because I didn't have these stories. And then the whole gangster mindset started coming out, and young men wanted to be a gangster. And one of the things that would put you in a position where you could say you're an OG or you whatever is going to jail. So rap music actually makes us want to go to jail.
You ever heard of a conservative talk show? I think this guy passed away a few years ago. The conservative talk show, he talks about low information voters. Neil Bortz. You ever heard of him?
Neil Bortz, yeah.
Yeah. Neil Bortz had this phrase, he would say low, I think it was Neil Bortz or the other guy, something that looks just like him, about low information voters, low information people. And he would say that tongue in cheek, but it tended to be one of the most powerful words that I heard when I started thinking about it. Because what America does, it plays to the ignorance of most people.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you shared your story about your childhood, wanting to go to prison, wanting to go to jail, because, well, that's that low information. Because at that time, when you was a young man, you didn't have the full story.
I didn't have enough information.
Correct. You understood as a child. You thought as a child. But
Mm-hmm.
now that you're a full grown man, you know that you look back now, you're like, that was stupid.
Yeah.
But you only thought that way because you were operating, as Neil Bortz would say, low information. But that's what America. That's what America wants.
Mm-hmm.
America placates to the most ignorant of society.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the reasons why I hate elections now. Because every time they vote, every time it's time for a presidential election or midterm elections, that's when you start seeing people come to the black community.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't ever come outside of election time.
Yeah.
When they get into office, they never put policies that helps us as black people.
Nope.
But they know they can get their vote because we have low information people.
Mm-hmm.
The same people who love to talk about going to jail and going to prison. The same people who protest about a cop killing a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that cops should be killing our young black men. I'm not saying that. But the reason why a lot of our kids are getting killed by cops because we are low information people.
Yes.
I hate that terminology. I really hate it. But in order to solve the problem, you got to understand. You got to understand the mindset of people who you're working against.
See, cops doing that to black people is important to white people because cops have to continue to invoke fear into black people. Somebody said a long time ago, the reason why Tekashi 6ix9ine will never be touched by anybody is because he's protected by white cops. See, the thug rappers or whatever, they are protected by black people. They're homeboys, gang members, or whatever, right? But when you actually get, and they still get killed and still get knocked off and beat up or whatever. But when you actually hire white people, which is professional, cops, tactical people, ex-military, not one person ever in history, not one black person ever in history that hired white people to protect them was ever killed. Not Martin Luther King, not none of these people. They all were protected by other black people. So when you hire, like, just if you become famous or whatever, always hire white people, professional, like tactical white people, because black people are afraid of police. So if you have police that protect you, black people will never touch you. They won't even look at you wrong. Tekashi 6ix9ine can do whatever the hell he wants to because he's smart enough to protect himself from black people with white people. Black people are inherently afraid of white people.
So, and
that's because Jesus was white. So subconsciously, we can't hurt. Not saying we should. We aren't necessarily conditioned to hurt white people because Jesus was put in front of us as the ultimate white person. And if they did that to a white person, which is in their minds Jesus, what would they do to you? You better not mess with no white person. So go ahead.
Now, since you said that, I want to just clarify. I don't think you were saying that. I want to just clarify, though. You're not saying Jesus was white, are you?
No. I said they made Jesus white in order to make white people untouchable. Because subconsciously, if black people think Jesus was white, you can't do nothing to a white person because it's like doing something to Jesus. And they put Jesus up, like this on purpose in order to show black people, if we did this to a white dude, embarrass him, just imagine how stupid and idiotic it is to go into a building to see a dead white man up on the thing. Imagine how disgusting and stupid that is. Yeah.
They did that to him. What would they do to us?
And we did that to him. What do you think we're going to do to us? So that's the thing.
Yeah. And so that goes back to, like, again, it's that low information mentality again that we have to get away from society, which makes that low information makes women work against their own nature.
Yeah.
It makes men work against their own nature. And so we really, as a society, what you're doing today is important because if we don't get past this mentality of working against each other and start working together, and not just for not just for you, not just for Gen X's but for the generation coming after us. I look at these what's it, Generation Z now, and I'm like, whoa.
They're starting to. Here's the thing that is weird to me. People can just talk about they don't have a sex, but we don't talk about how we don't have a race. Why can't all of us just be without race if they want to talk about not being without sex? How can you skip over something? Because sex, you can't turn around and say a girl is a boy, but they figured a way to do that. But a white person can't be a black person or a black. What about a colorless society where nobody has a color? If y'all want to change something, change that. They don't want to do that. Money, right?
Yeah. So why change that?
Right. Let me read these super chats. LaBalaba's world says always blaming the government, the white man, the black woman, but still dating Becky. Whack. All right.
But she gave you $5 to say that though.
Oh no, I love it. Hopefully she gave some more money. Next time, if you want to insult me, give me $20. All right, Rashid Griffin, thank you for the super chat. Law 40 of the 48 laws of power: despise free lunch. Ooh,
deep.
Yes, despise free lunch. I don't want nothing for free. Don't give me nothing for free. Yes. All right, so. All right. That's it for the super chats. Put some color in this chat, y'all. Drop some more super chats. I want to read what y'all been talking about because we've been doing all the talking. I would love to hear what y'all got to say, but you got to drop in the super chat because the chat is kind of like moving a little faster than I can keep up with. But yeah, man, this was really dope, man. You taught me something. You literally said the government is the damn serpent. I'm like, damn, that's real.
It is real, man. What's happening? What's happening in society is real, and we don't start opening our eyes and start seeing how the dots connect. We're gonna always be left behind. We're gonna always our kids, our women, always gonna be tools for the government against us. And I'm gonna be 100 on it. It's really our fault as men.
Yeah.
Because it's even going back into coming to slavery in America, coming to America in slavery and chains. I really have to blame I'm about to say something that's probably about to ruin my reputation, but I'll do it anyway. We are our own demise. We men are our own demise to our own people. Because
I agree.
We allow this to happen to us.
We are the gangsters. We are the drug dealers. We are the idiots out here because, to be honest with you, to a certain degree, I want to let you finish, but we operated to a certain degree like roaches. When I was young, when you have roaches, you would get this white powdery stuff called decon roach stuff, right? And the stuff didn't just kill the roaches. It actually just made the roaches want to bring. It actually made the roaches bring the white stuff back to the nest, and it actually killed the nest, right? Because it's not about affecting the roach, it's about affecting the nest, right? So white people dropped this white powder like decon on us brown people, and our dumbasses started taking the white powder and bringing it back to the nest. And then it hurt and killed black people. And now, to this day, we're still doing it, which is idiotic. So I totally agree with you on it.
And we've done it. If you trace our history from coming to Africa to coming to America, we've always done that. And I'm going to say some things that's going to be controversial, but if you follow me, I think you understand what I'm trying to say. For example, coming into slavery. Well, if we knew that we were going to spend 400 years in slavery, why not just fight to death?
Because we're stupid. Because
I'm saying I know he's operating out of fear.
In the first years, we couldn't speak English. All of us was speaking in different dialects, so we couldn't work together, right? But after 50 years of being around each other, we started talking the same and started building more families. Another generation came up, right? But the problem is the next generation was ran by our mothers because they killed the fathers. So all of the young slaves being brought up were raised by women.
I get what you're saying. I'm not even gonna go that route because I get what I'm not saying that you're wrong.
The slaves were listening to their mothers.
No, I get you, and I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I want to go deeper than that for a second. I'm trying to keep this on the men for right now.
Yeah,
let's keep it on the men because we talked about the women's side of it for a while now. I want to talk about the men's side of it now. And so what I'm saying is, if we are just addressing your point that you just brought up, when we first came here, we didn't speak the same language. But you know what language is universal? Fear and death.
Yes.
If I'm getting beat with a whip, my life is threatened. So now, what I'm saying is, why didn't we as warriors fight? Even if it meant death, fight. I'd rather die than live as a slave.
Taught us not to fight.
Who?
Hold on. It's
no.
Hold on. It's right here.
Female offspring in reversed roles. For fear of the young male's life.
Here it is. For fear of the young male's life.
She will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. For fear of the young male's life.
For fear of the young male's life. So the slaves were just like, you better not overthrow the white man, because the white man is just him, his wife, and a dog. And it'd be like 13 to 20 slaves. Why didn't they just overthrow the shit? Because their mom was like, if you go over there, if you do this, you're going against everything I taught you. And they're going to say, and they're going to do something to me. You want them to do something to me? And in their mind, they like, so you want us to stay slaves? You better stay slaves. I taught you to be slaves, and you got to stay slaves. Go ahead.
But now you address the second generation. I'm talking about the first generation of slaves who got off that. Before we get on that ship, you're not taking me on that ship in chains. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Even before they came over here, why didn't they fight?
Before they came over. I'm saying what in our psychology made us like to think that somebody putting you in chains is gonna be good for you in the end.
I think it was somewhat of the what was it? Noah building the ark type of thing. I think the Noah building of the ark was the white man saying, hey, I know y'all are happy over here, but everything is about to fall apart.
MrLetGo, I can't let you, I can't let you do that one.
I
can't let you do it. I know it's your show. I know it's your show, but I can't let you do that one.
Do what?
Because, okay, forget the Noah's Ark.
You don't think that's some Noah's Ark stuff? Hey, I know y'all happy over here, but this whole thing is about to be blown up. Everybody get on this ship and let me save you. And everybody gets on the ship.
I don't know. Because they put him on the ship in chains. They put him in the bow. They put him in the bow of the ship where there was no ventilation. And you crapping on yourself. You chained and you crapping on yourself. You're dying. What makes you think it's going to get better after this? So the psychology to go through that. My nature now is like,
get on the ship then.
Fear
of what?
If you put me in, okay, first of all, my people sold me out into slavery. They put chains on me, and now I'm getting on this ship.
Before they got to change, what scared them to say?
They were caught, just like they were hunted down like animals and put them in chains.
So what's your point?
My point is, as me, and my point is me. I'm saying is what Derek we made is we didn't fight. We should have fought to death.
Ashley said weapons. I think one of the things that hurt us the most is white people focused on army and weapons, and we focused on family. It's like we focus on hunting and gathering, and the white man focused on war and overthrowing other, environments. We never had this need. So in order to overthrow something, you have to start an army. Black people never had an army. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Africa has an army. They have an army. Does Africa have an army?
We had warriors.
We didn't have an army though. Okay, I got you.
But we had fighter mentalities for some reason, and I don't know. I'm not a history buff.
Is the difference between fighting and going to war though?
Correct. It is. And so that I'm not a history buff. So I'm not going to try.
White people used to go to war with each other, but we never went to war with no damn body. When did black people go to war with somebody?
You're over my pay grade now. I'm not a big history buff. I'm not that deep in history buff.
I'm just saying. I want you to think about that. All right. Asian people went to war with American people. All these other groups of people went to war with white people. We never went to war. So when it comes to fighting, we don't understand what war looks like versus fighting. Yeah, I put my fist up. I punch somebody in the face. But 3 years of war?
No. So now
they condition themselves for that. And let's get back to the subject. But go ahead. We don't went so far away from the subject.
Yeah. No, we're still on the subject. This is a
good conversation, though. This is a good conversation.
So I'm gonna go further though. Okay, so now go back down to the civil rights struggle, right? I'm gonna preface my statement by saying this. I'm not trying to speak ill of those who fought in the civil rights struggle. I recognize what they were doing and what they were fighting for.
They protested like women, like children.
And so my thing is this, and this is a biblical reference that pointed out to me too as well. But if I am your oppressor and my foot is on your neck, and me having my foot on your neck is benefiting me, why would I ever listen to you?
Exactly.
And so when I'm kind of perplexed on this situation because I'm a Christian, but I like listening to Malcolm X too. And that's the duality of me, I guess, duality of who I am. But I understand what Malcolm was saying too in some of his speeches. Who taught you to hate yourself, and you know, if they rape out, if we can't protect our women, if we're not gonna protect our women, ain't nobody gonna protect them. I get the concepts of what he was saying, and so what I'm saying is, I also see too how the civil rights struggle, all they were trying to do nonviolence and peace and keep it peaceful. The enemy only recognizes war.
And that is my point. So if we don't ever go to war, they're not going to recognize us.
Correct.
Japan, what Hiroshima, like if they would have won, we would be speaking. We ain't never did no stuff like that.
Which is the reason why I say it's a lot of this falls us back on us men, because as us men, that was our job to keep us safe. And if we're looking at
people got wars, and Russia got militaries, and everybody got military except for black people, and you wonder why we trash.
Putin is one of the most selfish dudes in the world right now, because he's fighting this war against Ukraine for legacy. Strictly
but at the
legacy.
end of the day, he has it to do it.
Correct.
We can't wake up and say, "Hey, we're going to war with somebody." We ain't got nothing.
But that's the point I'm trying to make, is we as men in history has failed our people.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, and that's one of the reasons why women have fell victim to the government, because we couldn't protect them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I persist today, because I was talking last night, and we had a situation. One young man brought up a conversation about he's afraid to go into certain schools because kids are crazy. They're killing kids. Black people or white people are killing kids. They're killing. And I'm like, well, that's part of being a man. Because responsibility as a man is like, okay, we're not back in prehistoric days where we could fight lions and bears to bring dinner home, right? That's not happening anymore. We're fighting now in a new jungle, in a new time where we're fighting against street violence, gangs, and we as men again.
We're not fighting against it. What do you mean? We are street violence and we are gangs. We are the ones doing the dumb shit.
Well, what I'm saying like me and yourself, who are not in the gang.
Others are gang member factories. They're spitting out gang members left and right. Who do you think all these gang members and drug dealers are? These products of single motherhood. Correct. We are. I was a drug dealer. We're not fighting against it. It's who we actually are. And that's
what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you, that's why we as men have failed again, because we are not fighting against the things that are destroying our community.
We're fighting with the people in our community.
And we're fighting with the people in our community, and we're working with the government to destroy our community.
Yep.
So to be real with this conversation, men are no different than the women. We just don't recognize our role, and how we don't recognize our role in destruction.
Something I said before is black men are the black women of our society, which means black women just sit around complaining about men, but black men sit around complaining about white men. Same old shit.
Are you willing to die for the cause?
And that's what we ask ourselves. Right. Well, it's not about dying. It's about a military. It's not enough. Like until we put together a military, nothing's going to change. Because it's not about dying for a cause. It's about going to 3 years of war for a cause. Like right now, the war is in Russia going to war with Ukraine is still happening right now. We're on YouTube. Somebody getting blown the fuck up like right now over in Ukraine. So wars be going on for years. We don't have enough testicular fortitude to go to violent war for years. We don't.
And that's the mindset that has been in us since far back as we've studied history.
And we're also in a Cold War. America's in a Cold War while Russia is in an actual real war. But that's the problem. Black people are women and men. We're just like the children of this damn world, and it's sad.
It is. And so I guess the question is now we brought that to the table. What do we do?
I actually not tried, but I was involved with a group that was trying to put together a military, but it fell apart. I don't know if you ever heard of the NFAC, but yeah, it fell apart. But I tried, or we tried.
And so I don't know, and I'm not pretending to have the answer either. I think I do recognize a problem, and I think as long as we as men recognize a problem, we'll get to a solution eventually. I think what happened in our past, and it's just me speaking from my ignorance. I think what happened in the past, we stuck our head in the ground and tried to, since the end of civil rights struggle, because I think the civil rights struggle, they didn't stick their head in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just fought the wrong fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think since the civil rights struggle, we've stuck our head in the ground and pretend like nothing's going on, that the world's gotten better. And so I think we've actually, the baby boomers, the Gen X, we've actually failed societies. We actually failed society.
I agree.
Even if I disagree with Martin Luther King tactics, the one thing I can say is he died for what he believed in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that he should have.
That's just not enough, though. I'm just saying that's not enough. One person dying for what they believe in is not enough.
Well,
a country, a group of hundreds of thousands of people have to be willing to die for what they believe in.
So I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Like the Ukraine is willing to die for what they believe in. They were, I don't know what they're doing now, but they were winning the war against Russia. So when you have hundreds of thousands of people up just ready to fight, moms and everybody just splitting up like, all right, you go over there, we're going to do this, we're going to stay behind, and we're going to do this. That is when something changes.
I disagree. Not saying that everything you said is wrong. I just agree with part of it.
Okay.
I don't think it takes hundreds. I don't think it takes thousands. I think it just takes a few. And a few people who come together and make strategic moves and faithful to the cause and willing to sacrifice their life for the greater good of society, I think can make a very impactful move. Now, what I'm not intelligent enough to do is to say that I figured what that move is yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. One thing I do know is if I can't stop the problem, I don't want to keep adding to the problem. So what I try to do as a man is first start in my home, teach my sons, teach my son and my daughter, and also teach the kids that they're close to, and then some kids who may not be, close to my kids. Yeah. But that's what we can do so far.
And that's my point. Teach the kids. That's all I'm saying. Teach the kids, so the next generation can do better than we did.
That's it.
And that's what I was saying at the beginning.
And I think that's why I think your platform. I think what you said there, when you like, we have as men, and we have to get out of our feminine energy.
Mm-hmm. But we have to start having intact family units, because the single motherhood mess, it just has to stop.
It does. I'm gonna put some personal stuff out there for a second. Not that I've done anything great. Well, it's great to me. It's great to me because how I was brought up. I was brought up a single parent home. We had my brother, all my siblings we had different dads. So I'm part of that. What we talk about, that generation that was just like broken homes.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. That's what I came out of.
I get what you're saying.
But the thing I'm most proud of now is that my sister, before she passed away, her kids have the same father. She was married to one man. My brother's never been married, doesn't have any kids. Myself, I've been married to the same woman. We have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And same.
See, things change.
Correct. And so that's, is that amazing? Is that great? Is that something that people I'm gonna get a Pulitzer Prize for or recognized? Probably not. But I think those are the small. I think those are the things we have to do as people to make families stronger going forward.
Right.
And I'm not trying to talk about. I'm not trying to say anyone that gets a divorce is wrong, because we know things happen, but to really fight and to fight from where we are right now, the best thing you can do is stay intact as a family.
I agree. Yeah.
And don't add to the problem. Now, we make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to belittle anyone who's made mistakes in the past. I am just saying that if we truly want to change the dynamic of what we're doing, let's work towards that.
And that's it. That's all I'm here to help do. The Daya Allah, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you so much for the super chat for punishment, pain, and suffering from monthly cycle. I think she was talking about the what she was saying in Genesis or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for the $10 cash app. I appreciate that. But I appreciate you coming up, man. I want to keep going with this the lesson, but this was a great conversation. This was a great conversation. So I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too, MrLetGo. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep inspiring folks and keep inspiring change.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Keep the same.
Okay, so I want to go back to what I was saying earlier, because that was a needed conversation. So let me go get this video file, and we're going to talk about this.
All over again, and now you're gonna be back in square one. And now short-term stuff. Most of us don't want to be with y'all. We just want to sleep with all kinds of women. So y'all end up being like men, but y'all aren't men. Y'all seek the oxytocin. Y'all want the love. Y'all want the bonding. Y'all want a man to stay with you and be with you. But you become a man, and this is where all this masculine behavior comes from, with all the giving and all this other stuff, because you don't know who you are as an individual anymore. You don't know how to receive. Let a man try to give you something. You're going to be like, no, I'm good. Let a man try to help you. I don't need no help. Because you're so used to giving, because giving makes you feel safe. Why? Because you gave to your mother. Your whole relationship with your mom was one-sided. You gave to her. She didn't give you shit. So now you grown, you are used to that behavior, and now somebody tries to give you something, you don't know what the hell to do with it because you never felt it.
John the Baptist, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you for the $100 super chat. Thank you so much. So this right here, because we're going back on the conversation we started off with, as far as why women act like men. Why do women have this masculine mindset, and why are women givers? So we started off by talking about how being a giver is masculine, right? So I said something about this being masculine. So you actually being a giver causes you to be the plug instead of this plug right here. All right. So that's part of it. But I want to go a little deeper into being a giver, being masculine, how it can literally ruin your entire life. Okay. So giving as a woman, you're a woman, right? Giving makes you feel safe, because giving actually is doing this. When you give somebody something, you give it away. You're giving it, you're pushing something away from you, right? And that makes you feel safe because you're giving something away. Receiving is doing this. This is scary to a woman. Unless it's sex, a woman doesn't receive anything. She doesn't want to receive anything. She doesn't want to receive help, because to a certain degree, she feels like going through life, receiving makes her feel unworthy of the thing that she's receiving. What does this mean? Your mother, to a certain degree, made you feel guilty for receiving. So when you just think about a woman being a giver, and it's a factual statement when I say giving is masculine and not feminine, it scares the hell out of women because they now don't know what to do with themselves because they're not used to receiving. So where did this come from? Where did this fear of receiving from a man and the feeling of safety with giving to a man come from? Well, it literally comes from what your mom did to you. Right.
And this is where all this masculine behavior comes from, with all the giving and all this other stuff, because you don't know who you are as an individual anymore. You don't know how to receive. Let a man try to give you something. You're going to be like, no, I'm good. Let a man try to help you. I don't need no help. Because you're so used to giving, because giving makes you feel safe. Why? Because you gave to your mother. Your whole relationship with your mom was one-sided. You gave to her. She didn't give you shit.
So let's look at this this thought process right here. You gave to your mother. What this means is, and this is what's crazy, you were performative as a child. Your mother did not have enough to give you, and all she did was just sit there and require you to wash the dishes, do this, do that, get good grades. All of that was meant to make your mother feel like she was a good mom. So part of the reason why you just exist today is to show your mom how much of a good mother she actually is by you performing all of these acts of service to your mom to make her feel good about herself. So this is the bottom line. Your mom never accepted you for who you actually were because of the fact that your mom wanted you to be either like her or totally opposite of her. You know, some women be like, I don't want you to grow up like me. I want you to do better than me. Or either they want you to be just like them. But this is what's crazy. Your mom never accepted you for who you are. And because of that rejection you got from your mom by never accepting you for who you are, you're now afraid other people won't accept you or what you have to offer. So you don't give to other people. You don't receive from other people. You gave to your mother, but she never gave you anything because she didn't have you for her to love you. She had you for you to love her, which is you being a giver. All right. So your mother had you so you can love her. A lot of y'all had children because your mother did not love you, and men never love you. They just get what they want and leave you. And it gives you this feeling of nobody wants me. So what you actually do is you grow up and you say, I know who's going to love me. I'm going to have a baby and she's going to love me unconditionally. Love me unconditionally. But you don't know how to love due to the fact that your mom didn't love you, due to the fact that your dad didn't love you, due to the fact that the men that you dated acted like they love you, but they didn't. So you don't even know how to love somebody. You just know how to give people what they want. I'll say it again. You just know how to give people what they want, but that isn't love because you don't know what love looks like. So your mom never accepted you for who you were. And because of that rejection, you were afraid to accept other people for who they are. And you gave to your mother, which has became this habitual thing of giving. Give. Because like I said, your mother didn't have anything to give you back. So you go through your whole life of giving all of this to your mother, and your mother doesn't give you anything back. Because that's over. And she'll tell you, I birthed you. I raised you to be this. She'll tell you straight up that she raised you and brought you into this world for you to love her. She'll tell it to you. She'll say it. But the thing about it is, due to these deficits your mom had of love, these voids that she had, she was too busy when you were a child, she was too busy chasing something that was already inside of her, which was you. I'll say it again. Due to your mom's deficits of love and her voids that she had, she is out here in the world spending all of her time and energy chasing love, but not being present enough to realize that love is inside of her belly, which is you. And once you're born, which is love coming out of her, she's sitting here looking at you like, oh, wow, I got a new baby, right? But women are never present. Oh, my baby. No, they're thinking about either the future or the past. So instead of imagining and loving your child for, wow, I have a baby in my arms, I just had a baby. No, they're like, I can't believe I went through all this stuff having this baby. I can't believe Pookie left me after the baby. I can't believe he did this. I can't believe I'm raising this child alone. Or either, how am I going to take care of this baby? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Instead of being present with the baby. So you're mad at Pookie for impregnating you and leaving you, or you're afraid of the future on how you're going to take care of your little baby. So women spend so much time either in the past or the future where they're never present. So once you end up, what you end up dealing with is your issues become the same issues that came from your mother because your mother wasn't present. The reason why you had a baby is for somebody to love you. And you don't know how to love your child back because nobody loved you. You don't know how it looks. You don't know how to love. So your mom can't be present enough to see what is happening right in front of her. Her voids and emotional deficits gave you voids and deficits. Now you're forced, because she wants you to live out the same unsatisfied life that your own mother had. If she wasn't worthy of love, why would you be worthy of love? Do you realize some of your mothers are in competition with you? If your mama wasn't worthy of love, why the hell she think you're going to be worthy of love? Why do you think you're worthy of love? So in other words, you being a giver has literally made you into a person that is unworthy of love. Therefore, I have to pay for love. See, when you're not worthy of something, you have to pay for it. So many of you ladies are performative givers simply because you don't believe that you simply existing is enough. You don't believe that simply existing is enough because you don't think you alone is worthy of love. So let me go farther into the class that I had this from last night's class, y'all. This was really dope. Hold on.
That you now didn't give you shit. So now you grown, you are used to that behavior, and now somebody tries to give you something, you don't know what the hell to do with it because you never felt it. Does your mother owe you something that you now have the ability to get from your environment because you have all these cool body parts? Is your sex a new bargaining chip that will finally give you what your mother failed to give you? And you didn't have a bargaining chip when you was a child because you tried to cry, your mother didn't give a damn. You tried to act up in school, your mother gave you a whooping. None of the things that you did worked. But then you start growing titties and stuff, and now you're like, wow, I got bargaining chips.
So let's talk about this bargaining chips. So what I'm saying in this class from last night, and everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button. What I'm saying is, in particular, is that, remember I was talking about being a giver. Since your mom never really gave to you, never really loved you, never really got, and then you grew up, you didn't get the attention, you didn't get the validation, you didn't get the appreciation, your mom never told you she was proud of you. You're now an adult and you feel like you have a lot of voids inside, right? And let's do this. If you feel like your mother owes you something, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like your mother owes you something, put a 1 in the chat. Because this is what's crazy. Your mother did not give you any of these things that you felt like every child deserves and is owed by her own mother. Now that you're an adult, you now have bargaining chips. What are the bargaining chips? You now have titties. Now you now have a fat ass. Now you have a vagina. And now you like, wow. So now I can finally get what I always wanted from my mother. Now I can get on Instagram, show my little cleavage. I get attention. I got people admiring me. So I got that from the void, that because my mom didn't give me that. My mom didn't give me attention. So now I'm getting that from social media. And now there's a guy who's like, ooh, I like you. I want to be with you. Ooh, I got somebody liking me because I grew up. My mom didn't even like me. So that is what bargaining chips is. So let's keep going. Your titties, your ass, your vagina are your bargaining chips in order to get get what your mom did not give you. And now you feel like men owe you the things that your mother did not give you. And it's unfair to us as men because we have no idea what your mom did to you.
Oh, you want some of this? Oh, you want some of this?
So this is
like, wow.
So this is when you meet a man. You're going through all this stuff, all this childhood trauma now, right? Now you grow up, you got titties, you got fat ass, you got all this stuff. So now you like, oh, okay, so you want this? So this is what happens.
I got bargaining chips. Oh, you want some of this? Oh, you want some of this? You got to give me affection. You got to give me, what else did my mom not give me? You got to give me love. What else? Oh, this, that. And then it's almost like, and the dude is going to be like, okay. And boom, you're able to get everything that your mom didn't give you as a child from a man. But the problem is when you use your body as a bargaining chip, the dude doesn't stay. So the guy gives you all of these other things that your mom didn't give you, just to give you the number one thing that your mom gave you that hurt the most, which is abandonment, because he's going to get up and leave. So now you re-traumatized all over again because he don't left. Now you're like, God damn it. I thought I had something. So now I feel worse than I did even when I was a child. Because now.
So just so y'all know, this is from last night's class. Shout out to the ladies that are in my coaching group. It was an amazing class. You're never going to see anybody's face, name, or even hear anybody's voice because I do not. I'm never going to showcase anybody in the group because it's a private group. But if anybody wants to be a part of this class, women only, the link is in the top of the chat. The link is in the top of the chat. So you can join the coaching group if you want to, women only. So let's keep going. So this is what we experienced last night.
Something. So now I feel worse than I did even when I was a child. Because now I feel re-abandoned. And you go to another dude, he abandoned you.
Have you ever felt re-abandoned, y'all? Have you ever been in a situation where you have abandonment issues, right? And now you have these bargaining chips, right? So you get with a guy and he's giving you the love, he's giving you the affection, he's giving you the hugs, he's giving you the intimacy, you know, the closeness that you always wanted with your mom, you know, non-sexual, but it was still closeness. When you grow up, you didn't get attention from your mom, but you could show your cleavage. Now you get attention from men. Wear a nice dress, you can get all this attention from men, right? But the problem is the number one thing that these men aren't giving you is they're not staying. Because when they get your titties, when they rub on your butt, all this, now they leave. Now you sitting here like, what just happened? Now these men are sparking your abandonment issues because your daddy abandoned you. But your daddy abandoned you one time. But now you're an adult woman. You get abandoned by this guy, then abandoned by that guy, and abandoned by this guy, and abandoned by that guy. And you keep getting re-abandoned over and over again. So now you feel even worse than you felt than when you was a child because of the abandonment is worse than all this other stuff that you weren't getting. So let's keep going.
Then get another dude, he abandoned you. And you're like, God damn it, why do I keep getting abandoned? This is some bullshit. My dad abandoned me one time. I keep getting abandoned by all these different dudes. This is worse. The problem is when they leave, that is the part that causes y'all to start trying to be controlling and y'all start choosing losers. Dudes ain't got no money because you start looking at it where you like, all right,
so now, since you are, as an adult, right, you are getting the love that your mom didn't give you from men. You're getting the appreciation that your mom didn't give you from men. You're getting the affection that mom didn't give you from men. But now men keep leaving you. So they'll give you all of these things and fill all your voids. But then they'll up and leave you. So now after all of those good things, you're using your little, bargaining chips to get, then they up and leave you. Now you feel unworthy all over again. And you're like, damn, how do I fix this? Well, I'm about to go in this video right here to talk about what businesses do. So now we're looking at this from a business standpoint. So watch how I make this analogy.
Consumer standpoint, like you're saying, they'll go out and get some damn immigrants to build their house or work for them.
We're talking about a company that will go get immigrants that don't have the wherewithal or money. So it's the same thing as you going out and getting a loser. So the point about this is you will go out and get somebody that needs you, which is a loser, and go have a baby with him, knowing he's a loser. But at the end of the day, he ain't gonna leave you, because these other dudes that you've been dealing with have been sparking your or triggering your abandonment issues. So you're so sick of being abandoned by men, will you just go get with a man that ain't got nothing? And some companies do this. They'll go get some immigrants who, you know, who on some papers, and they'll build a house for them and all this and that, and they can't up and leave, and they can't go to another company because they're illegal immigrants. So it's the same thing. You'll stay with you'll get somebody that doesn't have enough or as much as you, so they won't trigger your abandonment issues and leave you.
Dudes ain't got no money, because you start looking at it where you like, all right, from a consumer standpoint, like you're saying, they'll go out and get some damn immigrants to build their house or work for them or whatever. And just like with y'all will go get a loser who broke, who can't go nowhere, who ain't got nowhere to stay, to have a baby with you. Same shit. Because that's the number one thing that women have problems controlling. A man leaving. You can get the sex, you can get affection, you get the love, you can get attention, you get all those things, but you can't get a man to stay. And that is like the last piece to your trauma foundation. And you just like, how can I get somebody to stay? I get all these things. My titties is giving me what I want. My ass is giving me, but I just can't get nobody to stay. And you start looking for the immigrants to build your house because they are afraid of getting deported. And in your life as a woman, you start looking for losers who ain't got no job or who ain't got nothing, who got emotional issues, because you feel the same way as the immigrants, they ain't got no choice but to stay also. And now you are in a position, dysfunctional position. You've gotten everything that you've always wanted from your mom, and you're with a loser that you don't want to be with, but at least he won't leave. But you're not happy because he's still a loser. And now you go to the hair salon.
He's still a loser, not you're still a loser.
Talk to your sister. These men ain't shit. These men are so trash. These men ain't da-da-da. These men this. These men that. Men. And you just like, yo, will I ever be happy? Not when you trade your body for a bargaining chip to get everything that your mom, you feel like your mom owed you as a child. You're not. Because you're still operating in trauma. Whatever it is that you didn't get from your mom, is still going to put you in the same emotional jail, because the one thing you cannot control is when they leave you. When you got your titties out, we ain't going to I told you, you're going to look like food. And what do lions do? They consume the food and they get up and walk away. So you're still going to end up with abandonment issues. And that's actually usually the worst issue, worst pain you can feel out of all this stuff. So you have to be careful of putting your titties out or sitting on I'm glad women don't sit on the sink no more. That used to be crazy. But trying to do all this stuff for attention when you're alone all over again. And now you're going to be back in square one. And now, just like Dana said, you're now this dopamine driven person because you're so used to the likes, the this or the short term things like a man, because we love the dopamine, the short term stuff. Most of us don't want to be with y'all. We just want to just sleep with all kinds of women. So y'all end up being like men, but y'all aren't men. Y'all seek the oxytocin. Y'all want the love. Y'all want the bonding. Y'all want a man to stay with you and be with you. But you become a man, and this is where all this masculine behavior comes from, with all the giving and all this other stuff, because you don't know who you are as an individual anymore. You don't know how to receive. Let a man try to give you something. You're going to be like, no, I'm good. Let a man try to help you. I don't need no help. Because you're so used to giving, because giving makes you feel safe. Why? Because you gave to your mother. Your whole relationship with your mom was one-sided. You gave to her. She didn't give you shit. So now you grown, you are used to that behavior, and now somebody tries to give you something, you don't know what the hell to do with it because you never felt it.
So that last thing I said, you never felt it. That part right there is most important.
So now you grown, you are used to that behavior, and now somebody tries to give you something, you don't know what the hell to do with it because you never felt it.
That part. Too many of you ladies don't know how to receive because you spent your whole young life giving. Nobody's ever given you anything. And somebody giving you something and you receiving it makes you feel anxious because it's new. And the first thing you're going to say, due to the teachings of your masculine mother, which is, oh, don't let a man give you something, because if he give you something, he gonna want something back. Put a 1 in the chat if you have ever had somebody teach you that. If a man gives you something, he's gonna want something back in return. That ideology is the thing that keeps you from wanting to receive from a man. Because you're going to walk around feeling like that you owe that man something back. But we're not like that. Your mom made you think that we're like that, but we're not like that. So back to my notes. Giving makes you feel safe. And if you get to the point where you realize that being a giver makes you feel safe is somewhat of a trauma response or a fear-based way of operating, and you realize that this is masculine behavior, hopefully you'll open your mind to become a receiver. All right? We want you as men to be and not do. See what I'm saying? And I put the link in the chat if anybody wanted to come up. I don't know if y'all seen it. If any of you ladies want to come up and share your story or whatever, the link is in the chat. And to join my coaching group, that link is in the chat also. And make sure to hit the like button. Giving puts you in control. When receiving, you need to let go. That is a fact. See, this is the thing. Women are control freaks. You want everything to be in front of you where you can see everything and be in control of everything, because to a certain degree, you have an addiction to certainty. You have an addiction to certainty. You want to make sure everything that's going on, you know about. And when you give somebody something, they now owe you. So that means you give them something, they owe you an answer. They owe you an explanation. They owe you understanding because you gave them something. So the problem is, one of the worst things that could have ever happened to y'all, to be honest with you, is your vagina. Because you grow up in this world thinking like, oh, everybody wants my vagina. What you going to give me? And it turns into this transactional thing. But sadly, sex is the only time that y'all can ever receive a man without feeling bad about it. But simply the fact that you don't have a dick shows you that you're meant to receive in every way and not just sexually. Too many of you ladies are like this instead of like this. And you wonder why your life is trash. And earlier I said, you are the egg and the man is the sperm. and the egg just sits there. The sperm does all the wiggling around and fighting and trying to get, but you spend so much time trying to get through to a man, get inside a man's heart, instead of him trying to get inside of your heart. He ends up being an egg and you end up being a damn sperm. And because of this, you're only going to attract or keep a feminine-minded man, a man that was raised to operate like a woman. Then you turn around and have a baby by him, and then all you want to say is, he needs to step up. No, you got with a woman with a penis. And BW London, why are you so uncomfortable receiving? Is what I'm saying. Because I agree to get a coach. Therefore, you got problems because you're giving breaks. Giving breaks? I don't understand giving breaks. But yeah, but all I'm saying is, y'all, let me read some of these comments. All I'm saying is, y'all, I have an understanding of what you guys go through. Due to me coaching for like 4 years, because I'm not a woman, but the things I've learned, took notes on, the books I've read or whatever, I have a good understanding of what women go through or have been through and why y'all are doing the way things that y'all are doing. But at the end of the day, sex can't be the only way you receive a man. How is it that is the only time you receive a man is through sex? Like, no, you are a woman. Wait, are you a woman or are you a coochie? Because the way you operate by just the only time you receive is through sex, that means you're just a walking coochie and you're not a woman. A woman receives, not your coochie. But how is that your only thing that receiving is your coochie? That means you're just a walking coochie. And then you think, or you wonder why men only treat you like you're just a walking coochie, because you operate like that. No man wants you giving to him. Sit your ass down somewhere. And like I said earlier, part of the reason why I have a problem with churches is because the church is full of women and they are required to give to the pastor, which is a man. So when you look at church, So when you look at the dynamic of church, there's a man at the pew, and all he does is yell at the women about how they should give. And then they have the little thing where you put your money in, and you got all these women putting money in the thing, giving to the pastor. So you're raised by your mom to be a giver, and then you're raised by the church to be a giver. So you go out in the world giving to men. You're just like this. Because the church and the pastor taught you to give to a man. Your mom taught you to give to a man, but never receive. Because here come your mama. You receive anything from a man, you're gonna owe him for life. The hell? You're a woman, you're supposed to receive. Someone on Instagram says, giving in what way is masculine? Giving in every way is masculine. Hold on, let me show this person on Instagram. Okay, I'm on Instagram for a second. I'm not crazy. This is a male plug, okay? This is a female plug, all right? You as a woman is supposed to sit here and let a man give to you, okay? That is how life works. That is biology. All right, Miss Moran, whatever your name is. So when you walk around giving to men, these are the type of men that you're dating. Punk ass, bitch ass, feminine ass dudes. So you could be a giver all you want to, but you can find yourself being with bitch ass men all the time. You're gonna have a baby by a bitch ass man. You probably got a baby by a bitch ass man now, and you sit here wondering why your bitch ass man don't act like a man, because you didn't have a baby with a man. You had a baby by a woman. You are the man. So, but yeah, church has been paganized and isn't helpful. Yeah, I don't do church at all. I don't care about no damn church. Because the black church is just stupid and idiotic. It's just a whole bunch of fat black women jumping up and down, raising hands, just stupid shit. Like, shut up. It's just stupid. So overall, y'all, I know we got sidetracked earlier, but this is the thing that is important for you guys to just know. What you do with the information is up to you, but I am here to offer you solutions. I'm here to offer you options. And like I said, my coaching group is plugged at the top in blue. So at the top, you can join my coaching group, women only. But until you actually make some changes in your own life, your life is going to continue to be the same. So I'm just here to be here for you, here to be a listening ear to you. Because like I let y'all come up, but only people come up is dudes, because you ladies are afraid to come up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to offer whatever I can to offer you, answer whatever questions. But until you want to come up to the screen, talk, or either join my coaching group, hey, you're going to continue to have your same life. And if you love your life, cool. But if you don't love your life, do something about it. Even if you want to do a one-on-one with me, you can do that under this video. So go under this video and you'll see where it says access my services. Click that link and you'll have a list of services you can do. You join my coaching group. Men, I got a men's coaching group. Ladies or men, you could do a one-on-one with me. But at the end of the day, if you are a giver and you're a woman, you are problematic. If you are a receiver and you're a man, you are problematic. In order for us to actually start changing the roles back to who we used to be, we have to start figuring out what the problem is. And this is the actual problem.
She will psychologically train him.
Hold on.
Male image destroyed for this type of balance.
Y'all run around talk about being independent. This is what you're doing. You're actually a slave when you run around saying stupid shit like you independent. Listen to this.
We reversed nature at economics because she is the most important factor for good economics. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature by her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed. The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen, independent state.
Y'all hear that, right? Independent state.
In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
In reverse roles. This is what is happening in our communities. You, as a single mother, are raising your children in reverse roles, and you wonder why these dudes are punks. Because you are raising your son to be a woman, and you're raising your girl to be a damn man. Hey. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Hello? I don't hear you. You gonna fix something or what? Or what? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Let me get out of here. I guess you just want to be weird or something. But overall, y'all, either change your situation or stay the same. But just remember, if you stay the same, you're going to treat your children the same way your mother treated you. And that is the thing that I am the most worried about. I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about your kids. You're going to just traumatize your kids the same way your mom traumatized you? Okay, they're your kids. But with all that being said, y'all have a good rest of y'all day and let me know how I can help. And I'll see y'all tomorrow or probably this evening. I don't know. I might do another show this evening. Talk to y'all later.